In this video, we're going to talk about what's coming to the 20th WoW anniversary patch 11.0.5. Now, I am on the playtest realm, so some of this is subject to change, but most of it is probably going to be exactly the same. One of the biggest and probably my favorite changes coming is that the character creator for the Dracthyr is updating. So instead of only being able to play Evoker, you will now be able to play Warrior, Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Priest, as well as Warlock. I think this is pretty damn cool, and also you will see, you will start like a typical Dracthyr, and a pretty nifty feature is you will get gliding. You will get the double jump and a glide, though it's not as good as the Evoker's double jump and glide. It is a kind of lesser version of that, but it is still a free glide. You do get to, avoid fall damage. Now, we're not exactly certain when this patch will be going live, but there is a lot of speculation that it should be within October still. 22, 23 of October is very likely, and at the latest, probably 29, 30th of October. One thing you will see is that when you do log in during this patch, you will have a quest called Another Timely Invitation, inviting you to the Caverns of Time for a celebration. You can easily track this quest and it will guide you to the portals of your choosing to get you there. You'll see this will bring you to Tanaris, where you'll see there is an outdoors event very similar to what like the Dark Moon Fair looks like, with all different dailies and activities and things to do around. You'll even see at the top of your screen there is active events. Right now a story time event is going on. These are things that you can engage with. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, there is a ton of stuff going on here. I'm going to try break down all the things that you can get, and we'll discuss later on when it does release if anything changes. Now, you will notice that once this event is live, you will have a permanent, at least as long as the event is live, WoW's anniversary 10% increase to experience and reputation gains. This means that you can gain 10% experience on leveling up new characters, gaining reputation for factions that you're trying to get exalted with. You should also know that this does stack with the 5% that you will get from leveling 5 characters up until level 80. In the War Within, every character that you reach level 80 with, you get a 5% increase to the furthering experience that you gain on the next character. This caps out at 25% after you've maxed out 5 characters to level 80. So 25 from that plus 10 from this is already 35 experience. There's also a daily quest you can do over here at the event coordinator, who will give you a further 10% for, I think, the day, which will give you 20% experience for the anniversary event. Plus the 25 from your characters, that's 45, and this event will also coincide and go long enough to go over Dark Moon Fair, which means that you can get another 10% there, which means that you can reach 55% experience boost during Dark Moon Fair as well as this event. So it's a perfect time to level up those new Dracthyrs in different classes, or any other classes that you want to get to 80. Now let's start here at the main tent in the middle, and we're immediately going to start with the left. Now these are transmogs by class. You can already see the one that I'm playing, the transmog you see here is based on the class that you're playing. This is the monk transmog. And if you speak to this NPC, you will go ahead and open up their shop. You can browse their goods, and you'll notice that you can attain full transmog sets by spending 60 of these bronze celebration tokens. Now these tokens are gained by doing dailies in the area, which we'll go over. Now, excluding the weapons, the armor set is the one that you'll be getting. This is for Death Knight. This is for Demon Hunter. This is for Druid. This is for Evoker. This is for Hunters. This is for Mage. This is for Monk. This is for Paladin. This is for Priest. This is for Rogue. This is for Shaman. This is for Warlock. And lastly, this is for Warriors. If we go just to the right of this vendor, we'll get the out of timely trinkets. These are actually going to be old pets and stuff that you could get, I think, for previous anniversary rewards. These are just old pets that were in the past. If you want any of these all cost 10 bronze celebration tokens each. Man, this bear looks wild. If we go further to the right, there is another NPC here who's glitching in time. I believe the left one is for Horde, the right one for Alliance. I'm not exactly sure what these are for. These are all 541 eye level. They're purchased with Marks of Honor or Time Warp badges, or a mix of both. I'm not entirely sure how that works. These are odd little pieces of gear. I don't really understand what these are for, I'm not gonna lie. Starting from the outside of this tent again, if we go to the right, you will see there is a line over here. Doesn't really seem that that one does anything right now. There is a daily over here, This NPC over here will have a shop, and in the shop you will see there is a mount that you can claim using your time warped badges. For 5,000 you can get the reins of the Frey Feather Hippogriff. There's also a pet, another pet, some toys, and also there's transmogs for specific unique items that you can go ahead and claim, like this interesting looking scythe, this sword. And further on in his store, you can actually buy old classic reputation. So spending 50 time warped badges, you can buy 500 reputation for various different factions from really, really long ago. If we go to the left of this NPC, you'll find the historian Mahdi with timely trinkets has a store. Here you can get the 20th anniversary balloon toy. You can get a pet that is the little Doomie's hilt. You can also get this sword, shield, and helmet transmog that resembles something Blizzard employees get, I think, on their 10-year working time. You can also trade your bronze celebration tokens into a bag of time warped badges, getting 20 of them for each one. I don't know if that is something you'd want to do, but it's an option. There's also more toys, another mount over here, an item that lets you dress up like Edwin Van Cleef, which has 50 charges. And as you go through, here's a bunch more other little nifty things like sunglasses. Outside the tent again over here, this time if we go to the left, you'll see there is an NPC who is going to be selling you titles. You can buy old titles if you want them, you know, like Shadowlands Enthusiast for 100 time warped badges. So if you're into titles and you want to buy them all, this is a place to get them, I guess. Alright, so let's talk about some new content that you can do during this event. There is something pretty cool for you hardcore players who like to raid. So if we go down here to the right, there is a big drill. There is a quest over here that you can get from this Queen of the Dark Iron. You'll see here there are quests for doing this. You can get a free piece of 597 boxed loot, some badges, Valor Stones, all these different things. There's also a main quest over here that gives you 5 tokens for defeating the last boss in the Blackrock Depths raid. You should know that this raid is going to be available in Raid Finder, as well as in normal and heroic difficulty, which will award the same level of gear as you would a typical raid from, you know, Narubar Palace. So looking at heroic raids over here, you can see the drops are going to be around 616, all heroic gear for the current progression. Normal raids will drop level 603, around about over there in champion gear, and Raid Finder will drop about 590, 587 gear in veteran. From Moira, you can send yourself into the Blackrock Depths raid, heroic raid. This is going to put you in a kind of a queue finder to do this. And you'll also notice that there are 3 vendors over here that have heroic relic coffer key exchange. If I go ahead and interact with these, you'll see here for 40 of these time warped relic coffer keys, which I'm assuming we get during this raid, you can use to purchase up to heroic level gear. So 610 eye level gear, heroic track 1 out of 6 for various different items, I'm assuming, that drop from this raid, which is not bad, assuming that these relic keys drop often enough. You will see there is a normal vendor here as well for the normal version of these coffer keys. So it seems like you're going to have to do the normal raid for the normal coffer keys and heroic for the heroic ones. And these will also drop 597, and this one over here, Raid Finder, is going to be for the Raid Finder ones. Now, there'll be tons of quests, like things with Chromie, who has her own Codex thing that you can go up in queue for, where you can go ahead and get yourself champion gear, and for each week after, it's going to be downgraded to veteran gear, it seems. This is going to be found in the group finder, in the dungeon finder. You can see here, if you go ahead and queue here, you can see the Codex of Chromie, which will award a item level 571 bag of goodie bag, basically. So this is a dungeon of sorts that you need to do every week to get this goodie bag. On the opposite side of the big tent, if we look to the right hand side, there will be another quest giver over here, and you'll see this one will say World Boss Guide. Now this one is going to have 2 quests currently. The first one's going to link to a bunch of world bosses that you can find in the world, which is going to give you here champion gear, and then weeks after it's going to give you veteran gear, so champion only for the first week that you do this. And you'll see if you open up your map, you can actually track, there's Doomwalker, there's Shah of Anger, here is Archivon the Stonewatcher. But if you go further out into Kalimdor here, you can see here, there's a boss over there, there's one over there, And if we go out to the Eastern Kingdoms, you can find there is Lord Kazakh located right over here. So you can use this on your world map to go ahead and track them to see where they are. And it says here time left 4 hours, 1 minute to do this event or boss, I guess. He's also going to have another quest called Soldiers of Time, which is for doing Korrak's Revenge, which is a PvP battleground essentially, which will also award champion gear and then veteran gear after weeks passed from the first time you do this. If we go to our group finder and we go into player versus player, you'll see Korrak's Revenge will be found over here as a PvP event that you can go ahead and queue into. And if you want some chicken, you can always go visit some Leroy Jenkins for some fresh fried chicken. And that is everything that you can expect during this 20th WoW anniversary that we know of right now from the playtest realm. There might be more to this, and it might even change as well. So until it releases, I will make a video once it does. That is everything we know right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.